Good morning, everybody. I know my videos are starting to look a little different. It's because I'm not using any type of editing software right now to put my videos up. This is the second video that I'm putting out, and I got a few things to discuss with you. So today what we're going to talk about is the glorious, wonderful world of hotshot trucking, and we're also going to talk about whether or not there's actually a driver shortage and perceptions of the trucking industry as a whole. Okay, and put this down. Let me see if I put it down right. Can I put it there? Yay, it holds. All right, so I got my my headphones in. Hopefully you can hear me a little bit better with the headphones in. So hot shotting. Some drivers that I talk to, not through my YouTube channel, but some of the drivers that I talk to, throughout the day, and drivers that I run into here at my company, are always asking about hot shotting. Okay, is it worth it? Is it profitable? Is it a different type of trucking? Yes, it can be worth it. It can be profitable. It is a different type of trucking. Okay, what do I mean by that? The trucking companies use what they call DOT verified experience. Okay, it's not a scam. Okay, let me put that out right now. Right, it's not a scam. Okay, to have DOT verified experience basically means that you drove a vehicle that had more than 10,000 1-pound weight rating, basically an 80,000 pound vehicle like my truck, my trailer. Okay, you have a logbook. You got to follow the 11-hour driving rules. You got to follow the 34-hour brake rule. You got to follow all the DOT laws and regulations. Okay, most hotshot truckers, they're not required to really follow any of that. So most hotshots don't really need DOT numbers. They don't really need logbooks. They're hauling a gross combination vehicle weight of under 10,000 pounds. So because there are differences between the two, you don't really get that DOT verified experience. So if you're a driver and you're running on the hot shot deal, and then you decide that you're going to perfect. You decide that you want to leave the hot shotting business, grow up, and become a real trucker. Because let's be honest, okay, there is a joke amongst drivers and hotshot truckers, and that is that hotshot truckers are the young baby truckers, and they haven't quite grown up yet to be big truckers. But someday you're going to get there. And that's basically how I look at it. All jokes aside, hotshots serve a very vital purpose, but you're going to run into a problem, and that problem is when you get onto a company that runs flatbed. Say it's TMC, or say it's Maverick, or say it's a bigger company that has a flatbed account, right? They're going to look for your DOT verified experience. If you don't have any DOT verifiable experience, they're not going to be able to bring you in. It's just that simple. Okay, it's not a scam, it's not a trick, it's not a play. Okay, you need that DOT verified experience. I ran into that issue when I left the Army as a truck driver. This is what I did in the Army. I was driving trucks. If I wasn't driving trucks, I was on gun trucks. But this is what I did. So for me to have the 10 plus years experience of driving trucks, get told that I don't have DOT verified experience as I was trying to get hired onto companies, it's a slap in the face. But when you get down to the reality of it, there's a reason why. Okay, it's not a scam, it's not a play, right? You just got to keep that in mind. Okay, the best thing that you can do to get around that is upgrade your truck, upgrade your weight, because if you are pulling more than 10,001 pounds gross combination vehicle weight, that's the weight of the truck, the trailer, the load, the fuel, the driver, right? Then you fall into DOT mandated regulations and rules and requirements where you have to have, you know, the DOT stickers, you got to have the IFTA stickers, you got to have a logbook, you got to have, you know, you got to follow the rules and regulations that put out by the federal government for us truckers. Most DOT drivers, or not DOT drivers, most hotshot drivers don't have to follow those rules. You know, they put those stickers on their trucks, and it's a waste of money. You know, it really is. For them, it's a waste. You know, but hey, do you? You know, the other thing I wanted to talk about was the myth of the driver shortage. Okay, there is a myth going on right now that there is a driver shortage. I had this up not too long ago on my phone. Now I gotta pull it back up. Basically, there is a myth going around that there is a driver shortage, and the reason why that is there's a lot of freight and there's no one to run it. Okay, that's not entirely true. All right. Someone I read somewhere that somebody said that it is a respect issue, right? That there's more drivers than there is freight, but the drivers don't want to drive because there's lack of respect by the companies and lack of respect towards the drivers by other drivers and so forth. But you got to understand that there really isn't a driver shortage, you know, and what do I mean by that? I'll tell you exactly what I mean by that. Okay. There's not really a driver shortage, okay, because the turnover rate for truckload fleets is at 98%. All right. So what that means is that there's about 449,000 new entry-level CDL holders and about 98,000 reinstatements every year, right? And that's according to the FMCSA. Okay. And there's a lot less jobs than that, you know, not a whole ton less, but there's jobs available, you know, jobs are there, right? The truth is, you know, people have been crying about this driver shortage for 30 years, you know, and it's always the same bureaucrats and it's the same companies that cry about the driver shortage, and they've been doing it for 30 years. You know, all it is a ploy to try to get more people in the wheel, more people in the truck, more people behind the wheel, and it's really not needed, because what ends up happening is as more drivers flood the market and more drivers come in, even though there's not that much, you know, when you look at the driver to the freight, you know, you could have, say, 10 drivers for every, you know, 6 pieces of freight, you know, as long as you say that there's a driver shortage and that driver shortage is believed to be true, and states work to try to put new drivers in, it allows big companies to keep the pay low. Okay. By big companies like mine, Schneider, Swift, you know, just to name drop a couple, you know, they're going to sit there and say, yes, there's a driver shortage. You know, why? Because they want a ton of drivers to be available. This way, if there's a problem that they have with the driver, they can simply kick that driver to the curb, because now there's a new driver that they can put in, right? The more drivers they have, the smaller the pay they can get. So if there was a driver shortage, I guarantee you right now, drivers today would actually be making more than the industry minimums. They would be making more than everybody that's out there, and they're not. So there really is no driver shortage. You know, you can sit there and believe what you want, but there really is no driver shortage. There, you know, hotshot trucking's not for everybody. Just a heads up, I got a new video coming up soon. It's all about the CatScale app. If you don't know anything about the CatScale app, let me show it to you. It is a wonderful app. It is the CatScale app. It is Weigh My Truck. I have a really nice video going through and explaining how to use this, and explaining the benefits of it and why it's pretty cool. And so keep an eye out for that one. I'm trying to get that one properly edited, you know, so keep an eye out on that, and I hope to see you guys next week.